Everybody, welcome to Late Late Horror Show.
Back in that ass.
Redrum, part 3. Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, part 3, whatever. It's
Part
series,
3,
whatever.
chapter
Our new
3.
format, our new format.
Our ADD format.
And the movie we're going with is Bloodlust Subspecies 3 from 1994.
You had to look at the paper. Remember the name of the movie?
I know.
What did I watch?
We watched it 2 weeks ago, and we skipped last week, so it's been a long couple weeks here.
Life happens, man.
Because we watched Subspecies 2,
mm-hmm.
and you have to watch 3.
Because it ends on that cliffhanger.
Ends right on the cliffhanger and continues right into part 3, Bloodlust.
I love these movies.
Charles Band, Ted Nicolau, of course, Ted Nicolau directed and wrote it off the idea from Charles Band.
That's right.
The idea.
He's
and
the
this
idea
is
man.
This is a story of love, seduction, and betrayal.
There is a lot more feeling in part 3.
There is, and that's the one thing about this subspecies movie and vampire movie, because Redrum is a very strong vampire.
He's
one,
a bad
two,
mother effer in the first 2.
But this movie,
he's starting to soften.
He's yearning for eternal love, a partner.
Right. You know, look what Michelle and his brother had a little relationship going. You know, he wants a little taste of that. And, if I had Denise stuff hanging around me, I'd want to...
Oh, yeah. Well, Michelle, again... Part 2, go look at Redrum episode 2, Subspecies 2 that we did. She was introduced in part 2, and
right, different actress.
Very beautiful, gothic. That vampire.
Got that look, man. She's got the look that's perfect for
everything.
That kind of movie.
Everything. Yeah, I like. There's a little
everything I like.
Little full frontal there going on and stuff like that. But
how about the face, man? She's got a pretty face.
Oh, of course.
And her fingers.
Of course. But I liked what she that mesh top and stuff. But anyways, you see in this movie, which kind of took me a little bit off guard when it comes to vampires. I mean, Lestat from the Vampire Chronicles, Anne Rice, he's a powerful vampire. This is a little bit different. This is full moon vampires, okay? It's a little bit different. Not saying it's cheesier or cheaper or anything like that, but they're strong. They're and you see him break down.
He is
because
he weakens a little bit with Michelle.
Yeah, I mean, even his mummy.
The mummy, I love her.
Who she's
She's trying to talk him into killing her at every point.
Oh yeah,
kill her.
He
said, "She's my fledgling mommy."
Oh yeah,
and you get lots of drool. You like Radu drool, you get the drool.
You get more drool in 3 than you do 2.
My God!
But mostly
it's
in
so
1,
hard.
You get the spit saliva stuff, and
this is just
that's where
gooey,
Ted doesn't
fake drool. At least I hope it's fake, man. If Anders Hove is really, letting that saliva fly.
Yeah. Ted Nicolau said, we got the perfect actor. We got the perfect actor. He's going to drool throughout the whole movie.
I've never even seen... I know he's been in other movies, but I've never seen him in another movie.
You know what that is? It's Hunt's Pudding.
Hunt's Pudding? What? Oh, God.
He just sticks a teaspoon in his mouth every now and then. Next scene. She's my... yeah.
Even being a healthcare worker, man, just drool and boogers, man. I just can't stand it. Can't stand it.
Can't stand you. But anyways...
Say, man, if you need me to put my hands in your guts, I can do it. You got a runny nose, you're on your own.
but I thought it was funny how she was... this ancient vampire, how he thought he could, persuade her on, and bring her in, even though she kept,
well, there's times in this
putting
movie,
a wall up nonstop, and he even kills his mummy.
Yes.
The witch who,
to show,
I don't understand that a little bit.
It's like to show his devotion to her almost.
But what's with Redrum and the mummy? I mean, I know that's his mother.
It's his mother. She's a sorceress.
Okay, so she has a hand in him becoming a vampire.
They don't really explain the whole...
Right, I'm saying which vampire... I mean, come on.
She was labeled, I believe, in the film as a sorceress. and she is sort of mummified, desiccated looking.
Rotted.
And really cool makeup effects on Mummy.
Yeah, very cool character.
She's always trying to talk him into killing Michelle, and he won't do it. And eventually, last straw, I mean, he kills her, sort of to prove his devotion to Michelle. And
you'll come with me.
The other thing about Michelle in the movie
for eternity
is that it seems, and we were talking just a moment before the show started, that I really feel like if they had just made Subspecies 2 a little longer, made it a 2-hour movie, they could have took the best stuff from this movie and put it in there, and we probably would have had one really kick-ass movie.
Yeah, because
I feel like Part 3 drags a little bit. And sometimes Michelle's motivations aren't clear. Sometimes she seems like she's drawn to Radu and she's embracing the vampire side of her. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it seems like she's playing him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, is she willfully
what's she trying to do? Right.
Her motivations.
Does she want to be a vampire? I mean, you can't help but be taken over by the, what you feel when you're a vampire. That lust, that bloodlust,
right?
And hence the name of the movie.
Really embracing it, or?
But I agree with you. I mean, I think that is what they should have done. Again, I think you say a lot of people like 3 better than 2.
Some people commented that they liked 3.
Yeah, I mean it's close, but 2 I think is better for me.
I like 2 better.
I like it. 3 is drawn out like I think you say.
It's got a good ending to the series. 4, I think most people would agree with me. Bloodstorm, I believe it's called, isn't as good, and it doesn't have as good of an ending. It doesn't put as good of a cap on the story, but evidently there is another Subspecies script that Ted Nicolau wrote, and Denise Duff has talked about it on some of the extras on the Blu-rays for Subspecies, that it's a great story, and they would have loved to have been able to do it, but they want to do it in Romania like they did the others,
right? Yeah.
And that's just this, and
money.
That's I'm sure for Full Moon back then it was probably okay because they made money, but now it's kind of living off the old films. Right.
And again, it's like basically 2 and 3 is like one big long movie. All the same characters pretty much,
And by no means is it bad. It's just I like Bloodstone a little better.
Same here. Mm-hmm. In this one, I think Lieutenant Marin, the lieutenant in here, the police officer,
still doesn't have a clue for the most part.
No, he was kind of a little more bumbling. Idiotic in this one.
Not quite Clouseau, but real close.
Yeah, wasn't he in this one? He really was. I saw that in this one. I'm like going, okay.
And we still have Mel.
Changed him up a little bit.
The what's his nuts? The diplomat.
Diplomat, the U.S. Embassy guy who's the go-between Megan's love interest. Right. Could you say? And I do love when
is that her name, Megan, or is it?
Rebecca.
Michelle's sister,
who,
remember, was trying to rescue her.
And they're still trying to. They bring a body bag that sunlight can't penetrate,
right?
So that they can safely get her away from Radu.
Well, they bring a military guy.
Yes.
Mel calls his buddy Bob.
Yes, Bob.
He's like what is he, like a freelance mercenary old CIA operative? Nut job.
He looks like a guy off the street who they gave a few bucks to be in this movie.
I think he could actually. Let's see. Could he actually do that wall climbing? I think he actually did that wall climb.
What did they say right before that when she said? Because he goes, "No, I can get it, no problem." And he throws that up there over the wall.
First try.
He says something though right before that that I got a kick out of. It was funny.
Remember what he said.
He was one of those characters that you're just looking at is making you laugh the whole time.
Yeah, it looks like they got those little cap guns.
Yeah. He's like your MacGyver. Like he looks like him.
He didn't get to do too much in this movie.
No, he
got him up the wall.
He got him up the wall
because when we last left at the end of Subspecies 2, Mummy had grabbed Michelle and dragged her back into the catacombs.
Spinning.
We're presuming that even though Rebecca was kind of standing there, maybe she didn't know that that's what happened.
Right.
And so all kinds of stuff ensues in the catacombs, which ultimately culminates in Radu killing his mummy. But they all travel together a little bit at first. They all kind of poof disappear, Harry Potter style. And then they get to the castle, and then they're back at the old castle from the first and second movie.
Right. Yeah. No, it's
It finally has enough of Mummy.
Yeah, and really, that's pretty much it. I mean, they're just after trying to save Michelle from Redrum, and they even get Mel and another sacrifice. See, Redum's trying to coerce her with blood sacrifices too, like people, and he's got this big cage that drops down in the thing. So it's kind of all of that going on, but eventually, she gets freed and gets out of there, and
there's a struggle on the parapets of the castle, and it's almost dawn. I think it's almost dawn.
Yeah.
And like these, as long as you're in the shadows, you're okay. You could be out, but that's kind of like how it was in Buffy too. You could be out as long as you were in the shadow. You couldn't just be in direct sunlight.
And again, that was still a cool effect that they carried over from the first or the second one, with that shadow-like.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
I think that's really cool. Yeah. And then there ensues a struggle over the Bloodstone, and I forget who is it Michelle or Rebecca? I think that hucks it over the...
Yeah, Rebecca, I think,
hucks it over the wall of the castle, and stupidly...
hucks it.
Radu goes and jumps after it?
Yeah, he dives directly... everything he knows, I guess, that he needs that Bloodstone. He dives right off of
the Saints or something like that.
We got something similar to that over there in the corner.
Yeah, we're not...
I'm not going to dive off a cliff.
I'm not going to kill myself over. We can't show it to you, but it's right over there.
Yeah, it helps
he,
out. We get a little something from that. But
is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's such a good cap to the series.
Because the sun hits him and he
bursts into flames.
And I love, again, we're a little shorter, in our shows now. Hope you're enjoying that, people. But... so sarcastically,
that's
I say. He ends up. Pieces of him end up falling down to the bottom.
He gets impaled on that tree, that dead tree.
Yes, in the burning and then again you get, which I hated.
Little subspecies.
Yeah, when I talk, I mumble a bit. I'm trying to get out what I'm trying to say, but yeah, they fall to the ground and the blood turns into like the two little subspecies characters,
and
which is
that's
the coolest
gateway for a sequel, I guess.
Yeah,
do you know when they originally did that movie? They tried to do it with
so cool
actors. They tried to do it with actors, and it just looked like crap. And you could see on the Blu-ray and the extras some of the footage of that, where they tried to use little like big sets and kind of like Laurel and Hardy brats.
Right.
And, and it just did. So that's why they eventually did the rod puppets and the stop motion. But sorry. Just had to throw that.
No. That's...
But he has such a cool... Like, you think there's no coming back from that.
Right.
And then in part 4 he does. But then,
even
Bob is killed. Right? I don't know if it's Mummy or Radu. I think he gets killed with a scythe or whatever. I mean...
Yeah, on the wall. As they're trying to escape, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And the rest of them...
It's been a couple weeks since we've seen it.
He gets it too, doesn't he?
Lieutenant Marin gets it too, yeah. He's gone.
So you have Rebecca, Mel, and Michelle who escape. Mm-hmm. And I was telling Dino that in part 4 they don't even really explain it. There's just a car accident, spoiler. And it happens off screen. You just see the car crash and you see and it's in the distance, so you see bodies laying there.
Yeah,
it's them, but it's not even the same actors.
Right.
And like Michelle's body bag is laying there. She survived, of course, because she's a vampire.
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't give them a good send off, and I mean the series in general. I mean, sure, we're left with areas of questions.
Yeah, I mean,
what's going to happen to Michelle? Is she a vampire? What's going to happen to her?
Mm-hmm. I would have loved it. I mean,
but you don't get that answer in the next one either. So
yeah, which is disappointing. I'm saying, Radu's such a great character. You know what? Radu's character was the best in the first movie to me. I might even like the first movie the best.
Well, as far as the gothic sets and atmosphere, it had it all. It had more settings, more.
Yeah,
this film.
Even part 2 was a little bit more action.
This was a little different.
It was set in the city.
But part 3 had fewer, I think, locations.
Right.
You pretty much had the castle, and you pretty much had the catacombs.
Yeah.
And not much else in between. Mm-hmm. You know, and some of the characters' motivations in 3 aren't, you know, like, hey, we got to get Michelle, but they're driving away from the castle.
It's almost like they're rushing through the third movie just to get...
Or filling it, you know, like putting some fluff in there to make it, you know, longer. I personally feel like there's a really great movie in there, just, you know, take the best and put it all together. But it's in no way
take
bad.
The rest...
The facts of life.
Yeah, facts. It's all about...
But you know, there's a reason why you buy the first 3 that come in a set on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah,
because the first 3 are the best. Just like Puppet Master, you can buy all the Puppet Masters, but for a long time, only the first 3 were in the set.
Yeah,
and you know, and that's because they're the best ones.
Right. Yeah.
I like all the Puppet Masters, but
hey, no.
But you know, I just love full moon movies for the most, especially the classic ones.
And we again.
I love this movie.
Wanted to get through. Those 3. I mean, we did attempt a couple years ago, the first one.
Yeah, Death Twitch helped us.
Yeah, Eric
Poor
from
guy.
Death Twitch
He did a whole intro for us, and we botched it.
Well, that's still there. We just our commentary
it.
part isn't there,
right.
So it's because whatever. But
yeah, you know, I think you're probably right. I mean, for a long time, I would say, you know, I love Bloodstone; it's my favorite. But part 2 definitely has the, you know. You've got the monastery, you've got the castles, you've got the woods, the village.
You got full frontal of Michelle. I mean, you know.
I mean,
but
the makeup on Radu isn't as good as I think it was in the other 2 films, but, you know, you had some really cool effects. You had a sword fight, you know, classic vampire stuff, you know, like making the rosary beads, making that into the buckshot.
We can make love.
Oh, my.
And have babies.
Baby vampires?
Michelle. Half the time, because of all that drool, I couldn't understand the thing he was saying. We can do what we want for the eternal life.
Eternity, just my drool. But, you know, you're right, man. You know, the first one...
It's almost like menstrual blood.
Oh, God. Radu earned his Red Wings.
Oh, my God.
The first one, you know, set a big bar.
No.
And the other 2, even though there's different locations and things and maybe some better effects, you know.
I say in order for
the
me,
first one's probably better.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's my...
Well, that's the law of sequels, typically.
Yep.
Not always, but typically.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, that pretty much caps off that movie. You know, I think we're going to take and do... I'm hoping Suspiria comes out here soon. We haven't seen it yet, and we want to do you know...
Yeah, we're looking for illegal bootlegs. We'll tell you what we think of this remake.
Yeah,
reimagining.
We'll see. But there's a little bit of... Yeah, no, I am too. But there's a little bit of news. We can talk about...
Full Moon related, actually.
Yeah, Charles Band, you know.
That,
Full Moon.
What was it? 2 weeks ago? No, last week.
Yeah,
last week. A trailer dropped for a long lost.
We should have been there, man, when it dropped.
I know, this is the kind of trailer I get excited about. But seriously, on YouTube, you can find it on YouTube or go to the Full Moon website, fullmoondirect.com.
Right.
I wish Charles Band would come on our show.
I wish you would too.
You know,
maybe I'll reach out to him, but he's a rich man, so
he is. He owns that house that was in Castle Freak.
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Anyway, yeah.
Bless him. But a long lost called The Primevals, and David Allen was someone who worked with Charles
Not David
Band.
Allen Greer from In Living Color. This is a different guy.
Right. Just I never knew about that one, but this guy's just David Allen, who has passed away. He passed away in the late '90s, and I think late '90s.
Yeah.
And he had a dream project called The Primevals. It was sort of a fantasy science fiction. Ray Harryhausen stop motion special effects type.
Stop motion.
The kind of movie that I love the most. You know, stuff like King Kong or Land That Time Forgot and stuff like that. Those are my.
There was
like
a King. I'm sorry, I keep
There
interrupting.
is.
There was like a kind of King Kong type character in there, and I'm like going, "That's as good as I've seen since King Kong," because it's stop motion
really and it looked like there's aliens or lizard men, something sort of out of like Edgar Rice Burroughs, and
then out of the clear blue you get this like alien being standing on
like some control panel. Or something.
Yeah, it's like
the trailer's on there. The Primevals, Primevals. And they filmed all
I won't put a link down in the below, so search it.
Search it. But they filmed all and they filmed this like in the mountain ranges. I mean, these were some cool locations. Actual locations.
A lot of stuff has been filmed.
All the live action footage was filmed, and then what the plan was, according to the video, was to have a very long post production period where he would create probably what would amount to the most stop motion effects in any movie, I think. It was going to take, it was going to be,
decades,
100 shots or something like that. A lot of shots. And he passed away, unfortunately. He worked on it a little bit at a time as they had money for it.
Yeah.
And got a lot of it done, but not all of it done. So I guess they are finally going to release this. I don't know if they are, because his protege, David Allen's protege, who's worked on some big movies like some of the Avengers movies and things, is helping to complete the effects. I don't know if they're going to be CGI'd or if they're going to be stop motion, but they're going to try to get it as close to what he wanted as possible, out of respect for him.
With most of it being already completed stop motion, that I wouldn't mind them finishing it just with a little bit of.
And evidently, there's going to be two versions. There's going to be
and it is version. As they would say in.
His apprentice, protege.
Some countries they say protege. Yeah.
And I guess there's going to be that version, and then there's going to be a version that instead of the added scenes, it's going to be like his animated storyboards to kind of, so his actual stuff. But that will be coming from Full Moon. You can donate a little Hebus if you got $100 at the very least to throw at it. They'd appreciate it. It's the kind of thing I would love to do, but I just don't have $100 to throw it. But I will definitely be purchasing the Blu-ray sight unseen just because the trailer has my attention. I got a stiffy when I watched that trailer.
Yeah.
So go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's on the Full Moon website. If you're a fan of those kinds of movies, it looks really awesome. Yeah. And I can't wait to see it. It's supposed to come out next year. I can't wait.
Check out the trailer, man. Yeah, it's the Primevals.
That was the big news that I was going to let go last week. I don't know if a lot of you saw it, but since it's Full Moon related, I thought it was appropriate for this show.
No, it's perfect. Oh yeah, that's something else I didn't touch on real quick about this movie, Bloodlust Subspecies 3. For some reason, they pushed it from an October release later on, and I'm like, what? It's a horror
you mean like from home video, you mean, or
no? This was going to be released at in the theaters.
Bloodlust?
Yeah.
Go figure.
And they pushed it from an October release. I don't know why that's standing out. It's just, I think mainly because it was around Halloween, October, and why they would push a horror vampire / movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Later, it's like whatever. Movies, but I thought that was kind of stupid. But
a lot of Full Moon movies weren't released theatrically. There were a few
were,
that were,
right. Yeah.
But I don't know about like in other territories, other countries, or things like that. Maybe they were. I don't know.
Right.
I know Trancers was. I know. I think maybe even the first Puppet Master movie had some theatrical screenings.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too versed to know which ones did and didn't.
No, because we've seen most of them on VHS,
I never saw one in a
DVD,
theater.
so yeah.
That's where it was, videotape.
Yeah.
You see, that's coming back now. Like, you go to all these stores now, and they got all these covers for Blu-rays that look like videotapes now.
The vinyls and the VHS is
you want to buy Stranger Things at Target, it comes in a huge ass VHS box.
The nostalgia of that whole thing is coming back.
Why would vinyl? I'm not going to get into that.
No, I know, yeah.
No, I see.
Hey, Beth S. loves vinyl. She's got a whole channel dedicated to vinyl.
And there's nothing. I have no problem with it.
If you're a collector, it's
that I would be scared to death that music I'm playing is getting a little bit screwed up every time I play it. You've got a needle dragging across it.
Well, I would think you'd play it once and then it's just like a collector's thing now. You know what I mean? It's
as long as there's no snobbery involved in those who are collecting it. Like, I collect an album, because I, listen to music. It doesn't matter if it's a record, a CD, an 8-track. It doesn't matter. If you're actually devoting your time to listening to the music and not just letting it be background noise, then it doesn't really matter what format you're listening to it on.
Right.
I have a huge CD collection, and I listen to them. I rip them into the computer. I have my iPod, and I'll listen with headphones, and it's the attention you give to the music that really matters, not I'm listening to it on a hunk of wax, or I'm listening to it on a cassette tape or something like that.
You talk
You're
about...
not better because you listen to it on a hunk of wax.
I'm not saying that, but you're a big collector on what you want, you go out and get.
I love the idea. I love the artwork and stuff like that. What I don't love, see, like I got a buddy that collects records, but he only buys like the original editions. He doesn't buy any of these new ones that come out.
Okay.
Do you want to pay $30 for a record?
Right.
That you can, buy on a CD for $15 and and it just depends. I mean, everyone's got their own taste, but there's different degrees of sensitivity in people's ears, and some people can hear different things that other people can't hear. And
your tinnitus really affects that too.
My tinnitus, my constant ringing. But I mean, I love music. I'm the biggest music whore in the world, and I devoted a lot of time to my CD collection. That's good enough for me. And
it's good enough for me.
But it's the effort that you put into it, and that goes for movies too. It's the effort that you put into it.
Right.
That, when you're watching something or listening to it. Something like that. So
okay, let's not babble on too much.
I'm not babbling on. I'm just saying.
Let's not ramble.
I think sometimes there's a little snobbery in the community.
Oh no, I get you.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's the attention that you give to the music or the movies that makes it good, not what format it's in.
No, I hear you.
Hey, I got a big Blu-ray collection too, but now there's a 4K, and you think I'm going to buy that? No.
Nope.
Am I going to be able to get Hammer movies on 4K? I highly doubt it. So I ain't going to worry about it.
Dracula Has Risen is out.
Dracula Has Risen? What Dracula?
The Hammer movie.
Well, the ones that I showed off the other day.
Right.
No,
I mean, I'm just mentioning to you, I've seen it out there, and I just thought of that. But anyways, yeah. So, we don't want this to go on forever.
We don't.
So that's the recap this week of Subspecies 3, Bloodlust. Okay.
Subspecies 3, Rise of the Machines.
Yeah, and check out that trailer, The Primevals.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Full Moon. Just do a search on YouTube. You'll find it anywhere.
It's so good.
So worth it if you're into the, Charles Band and that old Ray Harryhausen type stuff, stop motion. Yeah.
And it just looks like a cool movie, not a horror film, but like a monster movie, adventure, fantasy, science fiction type movie that they just don't make anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so next week we may end up doing something newer. We'll see. It depends on what comes out this week.
What kind of bootlegs drop?
But we'll see what happens there.
Look for them bootleg movies.
But check out all the links below. Make sure you tell your mothers and your brothers something.
That's right.
Tell them something.
Subscribe. Don't unsubscribe. If you don't want to watch us, you don't have to unsubscribe and be rude.
So, there you go. Until next time, man, the Late Horror Show. Peace out.
Yeah.